Rachel. I co-founded Transgender Michigan a little over 20 years ago, when there was almost nothing trans in Michigan at all. I'm also a psychotherapist, and I work with trans clients. You notice I speak a little differently. I have Tourette's and other disabilities also. If you can't understand what I'm saying, too bad. No. If you can't understand what I'm saying, please let me know. Okay, it's really hard for trans people to access health care. And one main reason is because a lot of us, I'm trans, a lot of us are really afraid. I actually have a client who went to their doctor, and my client told them that they were trans, and the doctor said, "I'll give you 1 minute to get out of my office before I call the police." That really happens. And it is frightening. A lot of people like me, well, a lot of my clients are afraid to be out anywhere. And a lot of people, when they go to their doctor, they're going outside dressed for the very first time. It's not uncommon for people in my community that we've not talked to a doctor in 20 years. As was already earlier, very few people are trained, and almost no one is trained all the way. Even experts. I have a client who went to see the doctor, and the nurse said their old name out loud. My client found that very offensive. A lot of us, we just want to be. We don't want to be trans. We just want to be women or men. And to hear your own name out loud really could bring back a lot of memories. Bad ones. Actually, HIV is an issue in our community. And let me ask you a question. Why is it a big issue in our community? Any ideas? Yeah.
If you're afraid to go to the doctor, that's going to make it very hard to get treatment or preventative care for HIV.
Right. And also, a lot of us won't go to the doctor, and I have had clients who share hormone needles, which have been used already. That's the way that there's a lot of HIV. Very few even experts are aware of this. So, in the few minutes already, you're way ahead of almost everyone. I have a lot of other things I want to say. However, are there any questions? Anything you've ever wanted to ask a transsexual, however we're afraid to ask? Is anybody here familiar with the Transgender Michigan website? It's at transgendermichigan.org. We have a listing of doctors, dentists, lots of people who really specialize in working with us. We also have a helpline. We had the very first transgender helpline in the USA. As you mentioned earlier, one major problem is that even when there are issues, people in my community do not have them treated. Imagine a hetero person might have gone to a doctor 20 years ago, and if there was cancer or whatever, it would have been treated, right? Not in our community. Doctors turn us down because they say, I don't know anything about trans. And the client will say, I have a broken leg. It has nothing to do with being trans. However, many doctors will still say, I'm sorry, I cannot help you. It really is dangerous out there to be trans. And I'm not only talking about trans women, I'm also talking about trans men, gender non-conformist, or whatever. It is really scary out there. There is so much discrimination in our community, and so that means a lot of us can't find any work, right? That means no money, right? And that usually means no health insurance either. How are we supposed to access health care with nothing at all? A lot of trans people are also homeless. We don't have benefits, a lot of people in my community, because they don't have an address. Any questions right now? Yeah.
Does Transgender Michigan or any other transgender organization you know about have some kind of structured training for doctors about teaching them, you know, these are issues that transgender people face in accessing healthcare, and here's how you should handle it as a doctor?
However, most doctors will not come to it. That's times that they could be billing. I don't want to seem cynical. However, it's honest. Also, a lot of doctors say, well, I know as much as anyone else, or probably even a little more. It's those doctors you have to worry about. It means they do not. When a trans individual goes to a doctor for hormones, the doctor needs to do blood tests. You cannot prescribe hormones without it. And it has to be done regularly. Without it, you have no idea the effect it's actually having. Also, once you're on hormones and you stop, that can be dangerous emotionally and ethically. And a lot of people in my community may have a little money 1 month and no money the month after that. That can be really dangerous. Also, a lot of people buy hormones over the internet. Please don't do that, okay? You don't know what you're actually taking. It could be anything. If it's an injection, it can be gasoline. How do you know if you buy on the internet? Trans people have died as a result of hormones they got on the internet. And is anyone here aware you can actually buy hormones, and I'm not recommending this, okay, in the bathroom at gay bars? Please don't do that. You don't know what it really is. Any other questions? Yeah.
Can a general physician or a PCP oversee hormone therapy? Like, is that part of what they're taught in traditional schooling?
No, it's not.
So it would have to be specialized?
Yes. If it's a general doctor, you could really assume they've had no training. There's a doctor in Lansing who doesn't know that they're supposed to do blood tests. And when that is really necessary. There are very few doctors who are trained. We are trying to increase it. I go around to med schools and I train the people in med schools. However, every school does not invite us in. It's one reason why we created Transgender Michigan, to make there be somewhere for people to get information. Yes?
Now, you mentioned that you visit medical schools to do training there sometimes. Are those visits usually initiated by just the medical school, or do student organizations invite you there sometimes, or what?
The med school. However, if anyone invites us in, we will come. I know it's already been touched on, however, the suicide rate of people in my community is huge. And people of color in my community, it's huge. I had a friend up until a month ago who was seeing a doctor, who was seeing a counselor, and they ended up paying themselves. They saw no future. When I was growing up, I saw no future at all. I was really little in the 60s. I know you're shocked. I don't look nearly that old. You were thinking of maybe 90s, right? When I was growing up, I wanted to kill myself. I grew up in the suburbs in the 60s. I knew I was stuck in the wrong body. I wish I could explain what it feels like. Imagine if you woke up and you were the opposite sex. Imagine how you would feel. That's exactly what happened with us. Any other questions? Yeah.
Do you have any ongoing lobbying or advocacy efforts right now as part of Transgender Michigan?
Not right now. We're a very shoestring organization. What's even skinnier than a shoestring? We're that. We want to make lobby days at the Capitol in Lansing. That's a goal we have. Does that kind of answer that?
Yeah.
Okay. And I wish I could tell you, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah,
Oh,
blah.
yeah.
No. A lot of the calls on the helpline are people looking for specifically transgender housing. If anyone knows of a lot of resources, please let me know. The only one I'm aware of around here is Ruth Ellis. However, you have to be below 20 or something like that. I have to tell people on the helpline, I'm sorry, there isn't. I hate that. I hate it so much. However, right now, it's exactly the truth. Even in cities like San Francisco and LA, they don't have enough. Any other questions? Anything? Oh, yes, ma'am?
First of all, this woman was my therapist, and now she's my sister. A 21-month transgender person who's been, used to be your high school principal, your coach, a lot of things. But I knew when I was 4, and I'm 70. And that, your line is, no, maybe 69, but not 70. That's your joke. But I must tell you, having worked with 5 generations over 50 years, I'm really optimistic. And to me, you're sitting in the environment of the solution to the problem. And it's self-education, and it's education, and having power. And like the kids in Parkland, those kids are amazing, incredible. The same people, the trans kids will be accepted, hopefully more and more so, by people like Rachel and her wonderful organization. And I'm on her board. But it's like, so I'm really optimistic. My generation's lost. They don't get me. Your generation does get us. And the young trans kids coming up, stay in school, in education, be empowered, find a good job. That's the way out. No different than it was 50 years ago for me as a teacher growing up on a farm. I didn't want to be a farmer. So I just want to say that. And I know there's current issues and current problems with people, and I was suicidal twice too in my life, just like Rachel was. And, but she saved me. That woman up there saved my life. Now I get to drive her ass around. Oh, sorry, Rachel.
Well, we need more of everything. If you really want to help our community, vote.
Yes.
Okay?
That's true.
In November, vote. I'm not telling you who to vote for. Research. A lot of the people who support us, they happen to be Democrats. However, vote for who you feel will help us. We cannot get our birth certificate changed. I mean our gender on it without surgery. Surgery is real inexpensive, right? Expensive. So expensive. A lot of trans people you will talk to actually have not had the surgery. A lot of them cannot afford it. And if the religious freedom thing passes, it's going to be harder and harder to access anything. Is there anything you wanted me to talk about that I have not yet touched on? Yeah.
I guess an expansion on something that you did mention. So you talked about how some trans individuals will buy, what they think is hormones or what they think are certain injections. And something that I've heard from a doctor who practices medicine for transgender community, Dr. William Powers, I think you know him, is that some doctors will also prescribe either synthetic analogs of compounds or compounds that come from other animals, when really what you need to give the desired effect of transition is the human hormone. So
Right.
It's not even, or my understanding of it anyways, it's not even just the illegitimate things. Also doctors that are practicing technically within the guidelines that exist, but not in the way that really serves the trans patient best, because it is cheaper to do it with the synthetic or the analog.
Right. And a lot of doctors don't know any better.
That too.
Yeah.
Now, so you operate Transgender Michigan, but do you know if there are other transgender organizations in the rest of the U.S.? I mean, obviously there
Oh
are.
yeah. Yeah. There's a national one called, I can never remember, Transgender Center. I apologize. However, there is a national one. However, the problem is that people don't want to give us any money. As was said earlier, I created the International Transgender Day of Visibility, which was actually a few days ago. I created it 9 years ago, and it's all over the world right now. This is an effort of ours to bring together our community. Because when you bring us all together, we have power. And that's exactly what we need. We also need allies. We need allies to call representatives to come out and march with us. The gay community would not be where they're at without allies. Well, we need allies. Okay. Any questions? Okay?
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.